Hello my beautiful friend and welcome back to another daily video. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas evening yesterday. And yeah, as you can see by the thumbnail and the title, we're going to talk about AI again, because this is a topic that's going to, well, follow us over the next years. And yeah, let's dive in. First of all, yesterday I talked about this one here. The page is up again with Nvidia and their stupid subscription model. I thought they are going to change something, but they didn't. As far as I can see, this is still the same thing like yesterday. So yeah, that's basically it. What we're going to talk about is this article by PC Gamer that has come to my attention. And I don't frequent the site. I don't really care about PC Gamer. This one here is written by Molly Taylor. It's more important than ever to call out developers for egregious AI usage next year if we want video games to remain interesting. To a certain extent, I do agree. To a certain extent. But, however, there are things where AI has been already used in video games for decades. Whenever we have enemies reacting to the player in a certain kind of way, that's AI. Whenever we have facial animation for different languages spoken, that is AI. This is some good usage of AI. For me personally, I don't like AI with art, with music and voice acting and so on. But about voice acting, we're going to talk about that in a moment, because as always, I've prepared many a thing for you, and I'm just going to share two links in the description box down below. The first one is obviously this article here, and we are being limit tested, and I fear we're too okay with it all right now. It absolutely depends what it is. Because first of all, data centers, by the way, like for Grok, for ChatGPT and everything like that, they are horrendous. They are really, really horrendous. If you have played Final Fantasy VII, they are basically Midgar. Everything around data centers basically dies as they suck up the life of the area into itself. I'm not kidding. Go look it up. It's horrendous. It's horrible. And it's really, really dystopian. But yeah, the thing with, first of all, this is an AI image. Image credits, Crafton Zoe template by Diantre. This looks really, really AI-ish. Why do you say you want something against AI while using AI? This might be something made by a real artist. I don't know, Crafton Zoe template. I have no idea what that is. I absolutely do not care. But game journalists always try to pull the wool over your head, and they are activists. And also, they're losing their jobs because AI articles are out there. Sometimes, that's also the really funny part, are more eloquent than they are. And sadly, the AI sometimes knows better what the people want than the journalists. We already talked about that one in my really long video, which I'm still sorry about that it's so long. You know what? I'm going to link that one in the description box as well, where I talk about which outlet was that one? The one who talks about Larian, not Larian, about sexy characters being for the wrong people. Oh yeah, Lords of the Fallen too. I just had an L in my mind. Sorry, brain fog. But yeah, God, I'm growing so weary of AI. Me too, buddy, me too. Glints of human creation chipped away at with just a loading screen here or just a couple of voice lines there. Flaws and oddities that are the result of a person's error, but a computer that doesn't understand what or why it's wrong in the first place. I have to stop you right there. Sorry, I already forgot your name. Molly. If this is in the game, it's still the human's fault. I Again, I don't like that AI is being used in video games, but in the end, it's still the human that has to do the, well, the quality control and everything. We have stuff like this, just a couple of voice lines. We have arc raiders as a prime example. This was my first learning experience with AI. Not only is this not using data centers, as far as I know, I might be wrong here, but also the voice actors are being paid for this. They went into this knowing that their voice is going to be used for AI down the road. This is fine because they are still getting paid as far as we know right now. This might change with new information coming up later in the future, maybe, but we don't know. So let's go back to the article. This year, it feels like studios have been limit testing exactly what they can get away with. Whether they can save a few pennies by getting a computer to whip up a character portrait or a quick musical sting without us a lot of home kicking up too much of a fuss. The worst part, I fear it's working and it's only going to get more egregious if we continue to wave off its currently limited use. There is so much to unpack here. And I don't want this video to be another half an hour thing because this is just not my jam. But first of all, why is this game here? I forgot the name of the game. I just watched Markiplier, Bob and Wade play this one for a couple of rounds. But yeah. So character portraits. I don't want that. It's just as simple as that. You are an artist, make your own art. We have Larian Studios with that one right now, with the AI usage. Yes, they do use AI, but then again, this is something. I also go onto Google, I also go and look through books whenever I want to know how should I paint my next Warhammer models. And I used this as an example. I looked up so many Nighthaunt models, and in the end I stuck with Richard Gray and his Nighthaunts. This is, by the way, not the Kruger's Cruciator. This is... I forgot his name. No, not Reikenor the Grimhaler. Yes, it is Reikenor the Grimhaler. He just took the wings of the horse. It's now just a regular horse. But this is the Kruger's Cruciator. I really do like his painting scheme, and I'm going to paint my Nighthaunts as well like this. Will they look as good as his? No. But it's basically the same thing. They're going to use it as inspiration and then make their own art. This is everything that's here, basically. And again, this is just artificial indignation, what these outlets are doing. If there is real use of AI in art, like in Fortnite, something that we have talked about a couple of weeks ago, then I'm mad. Then this is not a good thing. There are so many things out there that I really do not like that AI is being used for. But yeah, then again, let's just continue. I'm going in circles right now. I myself am not absolved of this dismissal behavior. Oh, self-reflection. Wow. I'm part of the problem. I've played several demos over the last couple of years that sport generative AI for its capsule image. Okay. A necessary component to put your game up on the Steam store, but one that ultimately isn't all that important to the likes of you and me. What? I'm sorry, this breaks my brain right now. What is this paragraph here? Then why did you play it? If you are so much against it, why did you play it? Then because this is just an assumption right now. If this is not for the page, if this is not for PC gamer, then you have no reason to play it. If you are fully aware of AI usage there, do you know what I mean? Not Molly right now, but also, yes, Molly, but you. Do you know what I mean? This is very hypocritical here. I bought and played several hours of Liar's Bar, a game that utilizes AI voices for its characters. Oh, does it? I wasn't aware of that. Something that at the time I had excused as a byproduct of dirt cheap asset flip, one which just happened to be the right amount of stupid fun for a quick late night post-booze endeavor with your Discord pals, a game where posts asking for the developer to use real voice acting are met with comments such as social justice warrior behavior and seethe. Okay, I don't know anything about that, I'm not going to comment on that one. There's this strange downward spiral where people go from brushing off AI's inclusion to actively rallying against people who call out its use. I have to wonder if it's because people don't exactly vibe with having the things they enjoy criticized for something that they themselves deep down don't approve of. Well, I do get whenever people are defending the things they love. We have this with Nintendo freaks all of the time, everywhere. And not only Nintendo, we also had this with Ghost of Yotei and so on, which, yeah, they are selling well, but they are not selling as well as they should. And the stories are crap, by the way. But yeah, of course you are going to defend things you love and enjoy. It's just simple psychology. But you also have to self-reflect, okay, yeah, why do I like it? I have the same thing with Resident Evil 3, the remake. I know it's not a good game. It's a guilty pleasure game. I do admit that. Just look at how divisive Arc Raiders has been. I haven't played it myself, but it's just taken over the lives of just about every person in my friendship group. Then who's at wrong here? It's a game that also utilizes AI voices built upon real voice actors and with their contractual consent so that Embark doesn't need to have someone come in every time it creates a new item for the game. Yes, there it is. Something that for the most part people seem happy to deal with even when things sound a little janky as a result. Again, as far as I'm aware of, I might be wrong. They are not using data centers because just having a simple word extrapolated from the voice of a voice actor is not that big of a deal. This is a very nuanced take here. And this is something that I'm missing a lot on the internet over the last couple of years, and luckily it comes back. It's nuance. Not everything is black and white. You can use, Photoshop has an AI tool, so if I want to cut out this character here, there is a tool where I can just click on the character and it cuts it out, and then I can just adjust it a little bit. That's AI. I don't use Photoshop, I don't like Adobe, but that's AI, and it just uses your own computer to do it. This is also a nuanced take, I think. But yeah, get real, Molly. Yes, get real. As Wes wrote earlier this year, who's Wes? The game is emblematic of how muddy the whole thing is. Sure, it's not generative AI in the broadest sense. There it is, but it ultimately still very much sets up the potential to put up these actors out of a repeat gig. But they're still getting paid for it. They're still getting paid for the words that come into the game. Again, as far as I'm aware of. And as Wes put it, much of the unease around AI is also simply about it putting people out of their jobs. We have this again with Larian Studios, where the CEO said, "We are hiring people. We are hiring artists. They are still hiring people. You know who lost their job at Larian? The people who were not good. You know which journalists are being fired from the outlets? The ones that are not good, the ones who kept pushing agendas. And there will be next year, there's going to be a culling again. The scythe of, well, job cuts is going to reap everything again. People who are talented are going to keep their jobs. People who are talented are going to be hired. We also had, and just a quick example, we had Expedition 33 using one AI thingy, as far as I'm aware of, which, okay, they replaced it again with real human work. The game is fantastic. I still love it. I don't care. I still think what happened to Ipsum Lorem. Where is it? Lorem Ipsum, whatever. What happened to that? We also had this one with The Altars, a game which I really like. I played the demo. I have to be honest here. I haven't played the real game. It also had this AI image here. Sure, here's a revised version of focusing purely on scientific and astronomical data. What happened to Lorem Ipsum? Why is this here? Why is this a placeholder? This is always what I think about that one. Bring back Lorem Ipsum. Make it funny. Make it fun for the people who find these placeholders. And not stuff like that. And also it will make it easier for the devs, for the artists to find the placeholder images. Yeah, that's just it. And AI is also being used for many things right now, like textures. If you are, I don't know, you are in Blender, you're making a house, and now you need stonework. I don't know enough about Blender. I dabbled a little bit into it. There might be other ways to do that one. But in other programs where you have to do now texture work, do the stone work, do a little bit, and then the AI will just fill up the rest. That is fine. That is fine. We are not in the days of Halo 3, where I love this one. I can't keep this knowledge to myself anymore. Every single rock on the Covenant is the same rock. Every one, all of them. There is one single rock on the Covenant, not two, not three, just one. It's just one rock rotated, scaled, and moved around. This is also something that has happened in video game history. To everyone saying this is a great resource management, yes, it's amazing resource management. This is the best fucking rock ever, and I use it for everything. But also, why not a second rock? It's really not gonna break the bank like just one more rock, please, I'm losing it. So, in game engineering, whenever you have many assets, you are filling your RAM, basically, because it has to be in the background, it has to be on spot. This is why whenever you don't see something, it has to be loaded in instantly. It is somewhere in the world, either below ground or behind a building, wherever you cannot see something, but then it's being teleported in front of you immediately. So it does fill up your RAM and everything. So I've made small jabs at Embark's method among some of the bigger ARC radar enjoys in my friend group and have been met with a bit of hostility in return. Okay, that's not good. Calling these things out makes people uncomfortable and annoyed, and I get it. I don't like having the shit I enjoy called out for its issues either, because it's not that big of a deal. But I also see we are already at the 20-minute mark. Oh, we are already at the end. Okay, very good. But it's important. Embark has the money to get these voice actors back in the studio every few months to belt out a few lines, but it doesn't. Activision more than has the money to hire real artists for its calling cards on Call of Duty, but 3 games releases later and nothing has changed. Yeah, these are two completely different things, by the way. Having voice actors coming back is a lot more work. Yes, many voice actors do have their own microphones at home, they do have their own studios, but there are also a lot of voice actors that don't. Also, the voice actors, they have schedules. They have to work on other games, other media as well, many of which are not only voice acting for video games, some of which are also voice acting for animes, some of which are voice acting for stores. Whenever you are in a store and you hear a voice, oh yeah, today's deals are this and that, this is a voice actor doing the job. Having calling cards in a game is absolutely different because the artist still does the work on their PC. And also this is Gen AI, and with, again, Arc Raiders, they do get their money. Like I said, developers have been picking and choosing its smallest, least integral pockets to stuff AI into, like when you're a kid and you sneak one chocolate out of the box, people may not notice. My mom always noticed. And if they do, they probably don't care. This, to me, looks like AI. I had a couple of people trying to sneak AI texts to me, and this looks kinda like it. And again, I do read a lot. I read absolutely a lot. And, well, before my whole health thing started, I read one book a week. And not these small 50-page books, no, 300 to 400-page books a week. So I do know it's one chocolate, but maybe if nobody says anything, you can take a second chocolate and the third. Before you know it, the box is empty. I mean, like your integrity, basically. Next year, we have a very real chance of seeing the consequences of our permissiveness. Splash screens become background art, character designs, or even paid cosmetics. No, people are still going to be outraged about that one. Developers pushing that boat out just a little bit more. Grabbing just one more chocolate from the box. Why are you going back to the chocolate thing again and again? In the hopes people continue to say nothing. Ultimately, it's our job to call this stuff out. No, it's your job to... okay. Discuss it online, vote with your wallet, and demand better. Yeah, people are doing that. Why do you think AAA gaming is dying? Why do you think indie games are becoming more and more important for everyone? In a landscape where thousands of people are losing their jobs, people who are not talented, journalists who are not talented, people who are trying to push an agenda are losing their jobs. I'm not exactly jonesing to see that number increasing in favor of stuff slapped together by a computer. Am I going to become incredibly annoying by huffing and puffing every time something that has and should be done by human isn't? Yes. So you are admitting that you are annoying here. Thank you, Molly. Thank you. But I'd rather be that friend advocating for a human touch than someone who's only asking why it's this way when it's too late, because if we're not careful, video games are going to become very safe, very boring, and very unhuman. They're already at that point. What do you mean? Video games are already at a point where they are... oh my god. I'm not going to talk about that one. Let's just quickly go here. You know me, I don't use Twitter that much. I don't use X that much, but this is a space where we have so many people talking about this, and I think it's really funny. Focusing on ethical AI use will be key. Yes, this is what I mean with the data centers. I don't like those. I don't like whenever music is made by AI. I don't like when art is made by AI. As an artist and a musician myself, I don't like that. Am I that talented? No, absolutely not. But there are so many out there that are. But yeah, gamers notice when shortcuts replace genuine artists. Yeah. And we will always be furious about that. Oh my god, Tim Sweeney here. We already talked about him a couple of weeks ago. Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic, with his terrible take, and I already see it here. I'm deciding what to think of this thesis and need some more information. What brand of shampoo does the author use? Again, terrible. I thought you are smart, Tim. I thought you have more capacity to come up with new arguments. People don't care of what. I don't care if a dev is, I don't know, is a gun nut or not, whatever kind of shampoo they're using. I do care of which tools the devs are using for the games. I care about what tools the artists are using for the art. I don't care about the shampoo. This is terrible, but we have already talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Then KTEX here. If a studio has no money to hire talent because it's, well, an indie, no money studio, AI is fair game, and especially if it's with taste. It totally depends. No. This is still If a studio is Activision or EA and has a bunch of money, resorting to tasteless AI slop because it cannot is not fair game. Yes, with that one I agree. If a studio has no money, I don't know, man. You can always come up with something. I think this is still one of the things where I'm in a learning experience. I'm still this is still it's scratchy. I have to think about that one. It's more important than ever to call out those infernal automobile manufacturers for their egregious horseless carriage usage next year if we want transportation to remain interesting. Otherwise, we'll all be deprived of the authentic joy of muking out stables at 3 a.m. You know what? I do like that one. This is completely false. AI helps indie developers make ambitious games more easily. AI leads to more interesting games, not less. And yeah, because the human has still to do the work of, well, quality control. It's just as simple as that. If the human is just, oh yeah, do the prompt and that's it, that's terrible, by the way. And then again, no, this video's getting too long. We can talk about this later in the stream. This is populist cliche stuff. The game playing public doesn't care if you use MS Paint's Maya or Rev AI. They care whether the game comes out on time, looks interesting, and plays well. If studios making uninteresting games, those studios will fail and not make more games. That is absolutely true. Very human robot. Love your name. I love your name, man. Yeah, so again, we can talk about this later in the stream. Please do come by. We are going to finish the Separate Ways DLC for Resident Evil 4. But please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I am keen to know what you have to say. And while you're here, please remember to do all the things that make the dings. Why? Because that way we can build a bigger community and talk more video game news every day. And by that, I of course mean like and subscribe. And if you want, you can share this video with your friends. And please turn off YouTube's restricted mode. Otherwise, have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic, stay hydrated. And I will see you hopefully later in the stream or tomorrow with the next video. Bye, bye, bye.